Welcome to the Urban Herald. Today.
Well, today our airwaves carry a profound, an undeniable sense of gravity.
Yes.
It's a day that truly marks a significant loss, not just for the music world, but really for the very fabric of global culture itself.
It really is.
As part of the Urban Herald team, we gather now to reflect on a life that didn't just play music. He profoundly shaped it, creating this indelible mark that, well, it's going to resonate for generations.
Indeed. The news that reached us on July 22nd, 2025, it confirmed what many knew was perhaps approaching, yet it still hit with this immense, heavy impact. John Michael Ozzy Osbourne,
Ozzy,
the man affectionately and just so appropriately known as the Prince of Darkness, passed away. He was 76.
76. It feels too soon somehow.
It does. It's a truly somber moment. The world is bidding farewell to a figure who, as you said, fundamentally changed the face and the soundtrack, really, of global counterculture.
And what makes it particularly poignant, I think, is that it happened just weeks after that triumphant, incredibly emotional final performance back home in Birmingham. A true last roar from the madman himself.
Yeah, that's right. The feeling of mourning, it's palpable, isn't it? It feels universal. There's this profound void left by his departure, a silence where all that chaos and those famous cackles once reigned.
Yeah,
Yet there's also, there's a comforting note in the official statements emphasizing he was surrounded by family and the echoes of his musical legacy.
that's important. His was a life that truly defied convention. You called it a riotous festival of sound, spectacle, chaos, and unexpected poignancy. I think that sums it up perfectly.
It wasn't just a career, it was an existence lived at maximum volume, both musically and personally.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean for us? For the world he leaves behind?
Well, our mission here at the Urban Herald today is to embark on a deep, respectful analysis, a profound look back to honor Ozzy Osbourne's extraordinary life, his groundbreaking music, and his enduring, almost unbelievable influence.
Right. This isn't just recounting facts, it's a reflection, really. A reflection on a legend whose impact transcends his physical presence.
Exactly, his
Yeah.
music and his spirit. Well, without a doubt, they will never truly die. So we're aiming for an emotionally resonant, deeply insightful look back at a life that was genuinely unlike any other.
And what's truly fascinating when you start digging in is how his journey began from such extraordinarily humble origins, almost defying the eventual global impact he would have.
Right. Born December 3rd, 1948 in Aston, a working-class neighborhood in Birmingham, England.
Exactly. Imagine that industrial landscape, post-war era, smoky skies, terraced houses, the constant hum of factories, steelworks. It wasn't a place that typically, nurtured rock stars.
Not at all.
It was a crucible of blue-collar struggle and grit,
Mm-hmm.
and yet that's precisely where this rock god emerged from.
And he certainly wasn't born into privilege or a clear path to rock stardom, was he? The sources, they paint a vivid picture of his early life. Dyslexic troublemaker, navigating a school system that just wasn't equipped to understand or support him, which led to this deep sense of alienation, you imagine.
Yeah, you can see that.
He developed a fondness for pranks, that mischievous streak that would later define his public persona, right? And even engaged in petty crime, it almost sounds like a caricature
It does a bit.
of a working-class rebel. But it was his raw, unvarnished reality. And what's truly remarkable, almost a twist of fate, is that he himself credited a stint in prison for burglary, believe it or not, as a wake-up call.
Right. He often talked about feeling completely out of place there in that confined, sterile environment,
Yeah.
recognizing with this stark clarity that this just wasn't the life he wanted.
And it was in that moment of confinement, paradoxically, that he realized his boundless energy, his innate restlessness, it needed a proper constructive outlet.
Exactly. That unlikely experience for him was the pivot point that led him, quite literally, toward music. It adds such a compelling, almost mythic layer to the narrative, doesn't it?
It really does, that this icon, this Prince of Darkness, found his salvation, his true calling, from such an unexpected, almost desperate place. He even got that iconic Ozzy tattoo on his knuckles then, apparently to avoid confusion with another inmate named John.
It absolutely does. That early struggle, that raw authenticity forged in Aston's industrial landscape, it became the very DNA of Black Sabbath. It underscored the grit, the unpolished power that would define their sound.
And then, thinking about the broader musical landscape of the late 60s, 1969 becomes this pivotal moment.
Right. That raw energy coalesced into something truly revolutionary.
Mhm.
Ozzy, alongside his lifelong friend and visionary bassist Geezer Butler.
Greaser, yeah.
The incomparable guitarist Tony Iommi and powerhouse drummer Bill Ward formed Black Sabbath. This wasn't just another band stepping onto the burgeoning rock scene. This was unequivocally the forging of a genre.
They weren't just making music, they were inventing a new dark language for it. Their sound, it was this potent blend, taking that deep, almost oppressive bluesy heft, you know, the raw core of traditional blues, but amplified, distorted, slowed down, giving it this much heavier, almost oppressive weight. It wasn't just a nod to their roots, it was a deliberate subversion, turning something familiar into something unsettling and powerful.
And they infused this with lyrics and themes that, frankly, made parents extremely nervous.
Yeah.
War, societal fear, the occult, mental anguish.
Things people weren't singing about.
Not like this.
Yeah.
But it resonated deeply, making their fans feel incredibly alive, seen, understood in their own anxieties.
And then comes their 1970 self-titled debut album, which wasn't just an album, it was a thunderous manifesto, that ominous proto-goth album art with the haunting figure in the black cloak.
Instantly iconic.
Right. It immediately set a tone, evoking this sense of dread, foreboding, that would later become a hallmark of goth culture, really paving the way for bands like The Cure or Susie and the Banshees, who leaned into that visual and thematic darkness.
And coupled with its rumbling riffs, this album didn't just hint at something new. It unequivocally laid the foundation for what would become heavy metal.
They dared to go where no band had gone before. Choosing to soundtrack humanity's nightmares as much as its daydreams, their music was heavy and meaningful, dark, but somehow cathartic.
This raises an important question, though. How quickly did they solidify that groundbreaking approach?
Yeah.
And how did they push those boundaries further? Because after that initial debut, their subsequent releases were just as genre-defining, each one building upon and refining their unique sound.
Absolutely. You've got Paranoid in 1970, which, okay, it delivered iconic anthems like the title track and Iron Man that became instant radio staples.
Cube songs.
But it also deepened their exploration of war, madness, social commentary, then Master of Reality in 71.
Even heavier. Lower, sludgier. Tony Iommi famously detuned his guitar by a step and a half.
Right, giving the music this visceral, almost physical weight that was just unprecedented. Tracks like Sweet Leaf, Children of the Grave, exploring environmental destruction, social alienation.
And then Sabbath Bloody Sabbath in 73, which showed a more sophisticated, even progressive side, incorporating mellotron, orchestral elements, but still retaining that core heaviness.
Each of these albums didn't just follow the path, they set the bar for metal's dark grandeur.
Yeah.
Continuously pushing the boundaries of what heavy music could be, defining the sonic and thematic blueprint for an entire genre.
And central to all of this, of course, Ozzy's utterly distinctive vocals.
Oh, absolutely. They weren't just singing. They were this raw, primal force that embodied the band's whole ethos. Described as howling, beleaguered vocals, part banshee, part battered sage.
That's a great description.
They truly acted as smoky torches, leading countless lost souls to musical salvation. Think of that piercing, almost desperate wail in the opening of Black Sabbath.
Barely.
Or the weary, resigned tone in War Pigs. You could hear the grit of Aston, the struggle, the pain, the triumph, all wrapped up in that one unmistakable voice.
His voice wasn't classically trained, was it? It was visceral. A guttural cry that just resonated with a generation feeling similarly disenfranchised.
Exactly. It's hard, truly, to imagine the birth of heavy metal without that specific vocal delivery. A voice that made the monstrous relatable and the darkness, well, alluring.
His voice truly defined the mood, the atmosphere of the band's groundbreaking sound. It became inseparable from the very identity of Black Sabbath. However, despite their monumental success, their influence, those internal tensions, particularly fueled by Ozzy's escalating love affair with excess, that well-documented struggle with drugs and alcohol, they began to mount within the band.
Yeah, you heard the stories.
These issues created a growing rift, disrupting creative flow, professional commitments. Ultimately, this led to the incredibly difficult decision of his firing from Sabbath in 1979.
Which must have been devastating. For any other musician being ousted from the band you co-founded, the band that literally invented a genre that could have been a career death sentence.
It really could have. The definitive end.
But here's where it gets really interesting. A testament to this unique, kind of stubborn genius, maybe. Most would just call it a day. Licked their wounds, faded into obscurity. But not Ozzy.
No.
Instead, this seismic departure, this moment of ultimate rejection, It became the most powerful catalyst for an unforeseen, truly vibrant rebirth. He didn't just limp away. He didn't just survive. He kickstarted a solo career so vibrant that it often eclipsed his earlier work.
Think about that for a moment. An artist leaving the band he co-founded, the band that invented a genre, and then going on to even great, or at least equally significant, solo success, finding new creative peaks, reaching an even broader audience.
It's a remarkable narrative of resilience,
Really?
reinvention.
It speaks volumes, not just about his inherent talent, but also his sheer, unyielding will to create. And the rapid success of his solo albums proves this point dramatically.
Yeah.
You saw Blizzard of Oz in 1980 exploded onto the scene with this fresh, raw energy.
Subterfuge.
Diary of a Madman in 81 solidified his new direction, and then No More Tears in 91, which showed a more mature, introspective side marked by sophisticated production.
These weren't just albums. They were a string of hits that became anthems, resonating with millions. Crazy Train, with that unforgettable riff, those empowering lyrics.
Instantly recognizable.
Mr. Crowley, that powerful, almost operatic tribute. And the deeply personal ballad, Mama, I'm Coming Home.
Yeah. This entire period was characterized by this powerful blend of musical wizardry with off-the-wall showmanship.
And we absolutely cannot talk about his solo career without crucially highlighting his early, almost faded collaboration with the peerless guitar genius Randy Rhoads.
Oh, absolutely fundamental. Their partnership was transformative, almost alchemical, forging some of the most electrifying rock ever recorded.
Rhoads, with his unique blend of classical training and that blistering neoclassical shredding, he brought this sophisticated musicality, technical prowess that perfectly complemented Ozzy's raw, emotional vocals.
His solos, like on Crazy Train or Mr. Crowley, intricate, melodic, groundbreaking. They set a new standard for rock guitar.
The synergy between Ozzy's voice and Rhoads' revolutionary guitar work created something truly unique and powerful. Captivated audiences worldwide. Left an undeniable mark on metal history, even though their collaboration was so tragically cut short.
A huge loss in itself.
But beyond the undeniable musical prowess, Ozzy became synonymous with something else entirely. Shock tactics.
His penchant for pandemonium became legendary, truly blurring the lines between performance art, genuine chaos, and well-calculated provocation. These were stunts that were, by turns, horrifying and kind of tongue-in-cheek.
We're talking about the infamous, well-documented incidents, biting the head off a bat on stage in Iowa in '82.
Which he later claimed was accidental, right? Believing the bat was a rubber prop thrown by a fan, only to realize the grim reality as blood filled his mouth. Ugh.
Yeah, or the infamous incident, also '82, of urinating on the Alamo Cenotaph in San Antonio.
A deeply disrespectful act that led to his arrest and a decade-long ban from the city, shocking audiences and authorities alike.
He also regularly threw chunks of raw meat at concertgoers, just part of his wild, unpredictable stage persona.
These weren't just isolated events, they became lore, cementing his Prince of Darkness moniker, making him a figure of both fascination and fear, fueling decades of controversy, tabloid hysteria.
Yet, ironically, this very unpredictability only drew more people in, eager to see what he would do next, solidifying his brand as the ultimate rock rebel, someone completely untamed.
And yet, amidst all that chaos and spectacle, there was this profound, unexpected shift in how the world perceived him.
The Osbournes.
Exactly. The groundbreaking MTV reality series premiered in 2002. It truly pulled back the black velvet curtain on his life.
This wasn't just another show. It was a cultural phenomenon, a turning point.
Totally. And what the world saw wasn't just the wild man on stage, the bat-biting Prince of Darkness. Instead, they were introduced to this bemused, expletive-spouting patriarch of a delightfully chaotic brood.
Ha! Yeah. The show revealed a startlingly different dimension to Ozzy. The man behind the myth, vulnerable, oddly wholesome, and genuinely hilarious.
It allowed people to see a more human, relatable side. A bumbling father struggling with remote controls, mundane family squabbles, yet utterly devoted to his eccentric family.
That juxtaposition, the terrifying rock legend with the oddly endearing domestic figure, it added incredibly rich layers to his unique legacy, even as his stage persona remained larger than life.
It wasn't just entertainment. It subtly began to normalize the messy, chaotic reality inside the haunted castles of fame, making the eccentricities of rock star life oddly relatable and human for millions.
It even opened up discussions about mental health, addiction, in a way that had previously been pretty taboo for public figures.
It was a fascinating juxtaposition.
Yeah.
It endeared him to a whole new generation who might not have even known his music before that, proving his profound cultural reach.
Yeah. Moving forward in time, the sources describe this truly poignant farewell. One last roar that resonated globally and provided this powerful closing chapter to his performing career.
The finale arrived on July 5th, 2025 at Birmingham's Villa Park Stadium, his spiritual home. This wasn't just a concert, it was an emotional homecoming, a triumphant victory lap, a profoundly poignant farewell, just a moment steeped in history and raw emotion.
And what a powerful, unforgettable image it paints. Ozzy, though visibly frail but fiery, performing perched on a black throne.
A symbolic nod to his reign as the Prince of Darkness, right? But also a pragmatic necessity given his battles with Parkinson's.
Exactly. His voice, though ragged but unmistakably his, still possessed that unique primal wail that connected directly to the soul.
The significance of that event,
Yeah.
you really can't overstate it. It was more than just a performance. It was a testament to his indomitable spirit, his refusal to surrender to illness, his deep connection to his roots.
And he was joined by Black Sabbath's classic lineup, a truly special emotional reunion that brought the whole story full circle.
Incredible. And an amazing roster of rock royalty graced the stage, too, a testament to his influence. Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Tool, many more, all there to pay respects, play alongside him.
Commanding a crowd of 42,000, hanging on every note, every gesture, aware they were witnessing history.
And this wasn't just for those lucky enough to be there. The show was broadcast worldwide, a shared experience for millions tuning in from every corner of the globe. It served as a celebration of both survival and song, a last mighty salute from a man who never said die.
It was a powerful statement from an artist who consistently defied expectations, transcending physical limitations to deliver one final, unforgettable performance. The sheer magnitude of the event, the outpouring of love and respect, it truly underscored his monumental musical legacy.
When we connect this to the bigger picture, there's simply no denying the credit Ozzy and Black Sabbath receive for the invention of heavy metal itself. But its impact goes far beyond just one genre. Countless subgenres, goth, stoner, doom, others, all trace their lineage back to the grim grandeur Sabbath epitomized.
Their fusion of down-tuned guitars, those incredibly heavy, almost sludgy riffs that felt like a physical weight, with funereal lyrics exploring existential dread, war, the macabre, and of course Ozzy's unearthly voice, it unearthed entirely new musical territory.
Take doom metal, for instance. It directly inherited Black Sabbath's slow, crushing riffs and dark, often melancholic lyrical themes, creating a sound that feels like the musical equivalent of a slow, inevitable descent. Bands like Candlemass, Electric Wizard.
Or stoner rock, which takes their bluesy psychedelic elements, infuses them with a looser, often more groovy feel. Bands like Cayuse, Sleep, building directly on that foundation.
This foundational sound showed the world that music could be heavy and meaningful, dark but cathartic. It allowed for expressions of darkness and anxiety that traditional rock had barely touched.
Absolutely. The foundations they laid were profound. They continue to ripple through music today. And as a solo artist, he continued to build on that legacy, often in spite of what many respectable critics might have initially said.
Who often dismissed heavy metal as uncouth or lacking artistry, yeah.
He defied them through sheer longevity, artistic evolution, overwhelming commercial success. He amassed an astounding 13 platinum albums, scored chart-topping singles on both sides of the Atlantic, even claimed a Grammy, proving his undeniable mainstream appeal.
His albums as a solo artist also evolved significantly, demonstrating a remarkable versatility. From the explosive Blizzard of Oz, that raw, energetic new beginning,
to the more vulnerable No More Tears, an album that showcased a newfound introspection, emotional depth. This progression brilliantly married his signature gothic flair with candid introspection, showcasing a depth that went far beyond mere shock value.
He didn't just achieve massive success, he actively helped introduce metal to broader audiences, shattering preconceived notions about the genre.
Right, he helped introduce metal to stadiums and screens worldwide through massive tours, music videos, later reality TV, and made it necessary even to be a little weird, a lot loud, and unrepentantly yourself.
That's such a profoundly important aspect of his influence. He broke down barriers, showed people that embracing their true selves, however unconventional or outsider it might seem, was not only acceptable but a powerful path to connection and belonging.
He made strangeness cool, and that resonated deeply with millions who felt like misfits themselves.
What's also fascinating here is his role not just as an artist, but as a mentor and collaborator, embodying this remarkable generosity toward emerging musicians.
Ozfest.
Exactly. Take Ozfest, the touring festival he and Sharon launched in 1996.
Yeah.
It wasn't just another concert series. It was a groundbreaking counterculture phenomenon, a vital launching pad for an entire generation of heavy music.
At a time when metal was often overlooked by mainstream festivals, Ozfest created its own ecosystem, proving the immense commercial power and artistic validity of these heavier genres.
Right. Ozfest didn't just feature bands. It actively helped propel bands like Korn, Slipknot, System of a Down into the mainstream, giving them a massive platform, undeniable exposure, creating a dedicated fan base. It built an entire community around heavy music.
And it wasn't just Ozfest. He consistently embraced cross-generational collaborations, a true bridge builder. We saw him working with Elton John on Ordinary Man.
A surprising and deeply moving duet showcased a different side of his vocal range.
He collaborated with Post Malone, blending rap and metal in a way that resonated with younger audiences, proving metal's enduring relevance. He worked with Pearl Jam's Mike McCready, a fellow icon, and even Youngblood, one of the most exciting new voices in rock.
These collaborations really highlight how he became metal's avuncular godfather, a bridge from past to future, connecting different eras and styles within the rock and metal landscape, ensuring that the torch was passed. He never became stagnant. He always embraced new talent and new sounds, constantly evolving.
Beyond the music, his cultural impact is just immense. Stretching from infamy to outright immortality as a pop icon, his influence reached far beyond the sonic realm, extending to fashion. Think about the fundamental goth template that owes so much to his aesthetic.
The long black hair, the dramatic eyeliner, the dark, often flowing attire, a fascination with the macabre that became a blueprint for an entire subculture.
Yeah. He also deeply permeated meme culture. Phrases like Sharon, his often bewildered call to his wife,
Became an instantly recognizable shorthand for domestic chaos. Ubiquitous.
He fundamentally shaped the broader language of rebellion.
He had this incredible, almost alchemical ability to make the abject alluring, the monstrous relatable, the outsider central. He truly was a master of subverting expectations, taking the darker, weirder aspects of life and making them not just acceptable, but desirable.
And then back to the Osbournes again, which had an even deeper cultural impact than just revealing the man behind the myth. It fundamentally recast the rock star stereotype.
Right. Instead of the expected, often tragic narrative of substance-fueled tragedy, the show delivered this surreal, homespun sitcom.
It normalized the messy, chaotic reality inside the haunted castles of fame, showing that even global icons grapple with mundane problems, argue with their kids, search for the TV remote.
This normalization made the eccentricities of rock star life oddly relatable and profoundly human. Changing how celebrity was perceived on a mass scale, it was groundbreaking television.
It definitely resonated because it presented this unfiltered, often humorous look into their lives, tearing down the facade of rock god mystique.
And this leads us to perhaps one of the most powerful aspects of his legacy, the reluctant role model. Despite never aspiring to be a beacon of stability indeed, often being the very definition of instability early on, Ozzy's remarkable, very public openness about his battles, addiction, mental health struggles, later, his Parkinson's diagnosis. It transformed him into a rare role model for resilience.
He truly was. His willingness to laugh at himself, even at his own vulnerabilities and absurdities, to show tenderness with his family, revealing that deep, unconditional love beneath the gruff exterior, and to keep answering the bell year after year despite immense personal and physical challenges. It gave immense hope to anyone who ever felt broken, misunderstood, or like they couldn't keep going.
His vulnerability, paradoxically, became this profound source of strength for countless people. It showed that even if you're battling immense personal demons, if you've stumbled countless times, you can still find a way to keep going, to find joy, to forge meaningful connections, and to leave an indelible mark. It was a powerful lesson in perseverance.
In his last months, those health battles, particularly his fight with Parkinson's, became very public.
They did. The disease mercilessly stole his mobility, but it emphatically did not steal his voice or his spirit. He faced it head-on, continued to engage with his fans, make music.
His final concert at Villa Park. It wasn't just a performance. It was a powerful, defiant act. It was Ozzy, flanked by friends and family, quite literally giving everything left in the tank. A masterclass in defiance against the limitations of his own body, choosing to end his performing career on his own terms, in front of his people.
The news of his passing on July 22, 2025, triggered an immediate, overwhelming outpouring of grief and gratitude from all corners of the music world and beyond. It was a truly global moment of collective remembrance.
His family's statement was profoundly simple, profoundly moving. Capturing the essence of his final moments, he was surrounded by love.
And the tributes poured in from everywhere you could imagine. Former bandmates like Tony Iommi and Geezer Butler emphasized not just his creative genius, but his often overlooked kindness and humor, speaking to the deeply human side beneath the dark persona.
Social media feeds were just filled with heartfelt remembrances. Across the artistic spectrum, Mike McCready of Pearl Jam reflecting on how Ozzy's voice transported him to a dark realm,
Illustrating that deep, emotional, almost spiritual connection artists and fans had with his work.
Youngblood, a much younger artist whom Ozzy had mentored, recalled their shared laughter, highlighting his personal warmth, his mentorship.
Beyond individual tributes, the collective grief was evident. Artists like Slipknot, Metallica, Madonna, Elton John all posted their profound condolences, acknowledging his unique, irreplaceable impact.
And then there was the communal fan response, a truly global gesture of remembrance, fans gathering online in streets across the world to play Iron Man at dusk.
A unified, resonant sound echoing his legacy. It was a beautiful, powerful, unified moment of remembrance, a true testament to the breadth and depth of his influence.
So when we look at the eternal legacy of the Prince of Darkness, the numbers alone, they speak volumes about his empire of influence.
They really do.
We're talking over 100 million records sold worldwide. Combining his monumental solo work and his foundational time with Black Sabbath, that's an astronomical figure, underscoring his immense commercial appeal, his broad reach across decades.
And 13 platinum-certified solo albums, a feat most artists could only dream of achieving.
And of course, multiple Grammy wins, entries into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, both solo and with Sabbath. It's a testament to his undeniable commercial success, perfectly balanced alongside his profound artistic innovation and impact.
And beyond those impressive statistics, Black Sabbath's catalog remains, without a doubt, the bedrock of metal, the fundamental blueprint influencing generations of musicians in every subgenre that followed. And Ozzy's solo hits, they continue to be radio staples, proving their timeless appeal, universal recognition.
He wasn't just a fleeting sensation or a shocking spectacle. His music has this enduring quality that transcends decades, resonating with new listeners every year.
This brings us to the core, doesn't it? The true heart of his legacy. He was truly the philosopher king of rock.
That's a good way to put it.
His legacy isn't simply inventing heavy metal, although that alone would be enough to secure his eternal place in history. It's so much more profound than that. It's a model for surviving fame, addiction, and astonishing odds with wit, candor, and vulnerability.
Think about the sheer number of rock stars who succumbed to the pressures of fame and addiction from his era. Ozzy faced it all, publicly, messily. But he kept fighting, year after year, surviving against all expectations.
He didn't offer preachy lectures. He offered himself flawed, resilient, utterly authentic. He embraced the weird, the wounded, and the wonderful with equal enthusiasm, creating a space for those who felt like outsiders, showing them that their eccentricities, their struggles could be sources of strength and connection.
He made it okay to be yourself, no matter how unconventional. He left an indelible mark not just on music, but on the lives of millions who maybe never saw Black Sabbath live, but still find themselves chanting Paranoid in the shower, or relating to his bemused exasperation on the Osbournes.
The void he leaves behind is palpable, a tangible absence. Ozzy's loss is truly a void where chaos, humor, and catharsis once reigned. It's difficult to imagine a world without his cackle.
Yeah. That distinctive, almost manic laugh that embodied his unique spirit.
A world with just a little less magic, a little less madness. He taught us so much through his life, even if he never intended to be a teacher, about perseverance, authenticity, finding light within the darkness.
He showed us, through his tumultuous, extraordinary life, that you can be broken and brilliant, menacing and maternal, the butt of every joke and the punchline that lands hardest. It's a powerful, multifaceted lesson in embracing all facets of oneself, the light and the dark.
He is survived by his beloved wife Sharon, his children Amy, Kelly, and Jack, who will undoubtedly carry on his spirit, his unique legacy.
But beyond his immediate family, he is survived by legions of fans around the globe who will keep the horns raised in his honor. His impact stretches far beyond a single family or a single generation. It truly is eternal.
In his final, incredibly poignant show, Ozzy waved to tens of thousands of fans in his hometown, Birmingham. He was frail, yes, but his eyes were sparkling, his spirit undeniable. He offered this simple, heartfelt farewell to the adoring crowd. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
And the world, heavy with a profound sense of loss, but eternally grateful for the music and the man, repeats it back. His story, the incredible journey of the Prince of Darkness, it challenges us, doesn't it? To consider how true authenticity, even amidst profound chaos and startling vulnerability, can forge an everlasting connection, resonate across generations, and fundamentally inspire millions to embrace their own unique path.
It's a powerful thought for us all to consider as we reflect on his monumental life and the legacy he leaves behind.
Long live the Prince of Darkness. The madness and the music will never die.